The first thing we are going to do is to create our project folder. I will name it portfolio. Next is to create index.html. Having created our index.html, which is going to serve as our home page, next thing we are going to do is enter our page title. Let's preview our browser to confirm the title page. You can see CoSec Home. We are going to make this one more professional. Let's go back to our code. Follow me carefully in this tutorial and go along with me. The next thing we're going to do is to create the nav bar, our navigation bar, which we will have in all our pages. Come inside the body element, type nav. Inside the nav, we are going to have two elements, the logo and the menu. We'll be creating two separate divs. I'll create the first div and give it a class name of logo. Use the one with dot. I'll give it a class name logo. Inside the logo div, I will create a h1, which will be the logo. Let's preview to see what we have. Okay, everything is working very fine. Let's go back to our page. We're going to create another div with the class name menu. Inside the menu, let's create a UL, honored list. Inside the UL, we'll have li, list. Inside the list, we'll have an anchor tag. Then let's keep the reference empty for now. The first menu is going to be home. Another li, a. About us. We'll create the third one, a, with the int. We call this one services. I will create the last one, which is going to be the contact page. Right now, we are done with our UL. Let's preview the browser to see what we have. Yes, everything is coming out fine. You can see our logo and the menus. Next is going to be the hero section. Let's code everything before we go to the styling. After the closing nav, let's start section with a class name hero section with dot. We give it a class name of hero. This is going to be our hero section. Inside the hero section, we are going to have another div, which we'll call hero content. Inside this hero content, we'll have three elements. First is going to be h1 element. Under the h1 element, let's create a paragraph text. After the P, we'll enter an anchor link. This anchor link, we're going to give it a class of btn. Now we are done with this section. Let's create another section. Follow the same process and create another section with a class name features. This section will have a div with a class name card. The card div will contain two elements, H3 element and P element. Let me close up this one so I can see where this div is ending. Another div with class name of card. It will also contain two elements, the H3 and P element. Let's repeat the same process. If you want to code along with me, always pause the video and type to have exactly what I'm coding here. Let's preview the browser. Now, as you can see, we are done with our home page. So let's use CSS to apply designs to our code. Let's create our CSS file. Open select the portfolio, some way, name it style.css. You can see our CSS file now ready. The next thing is to link our CSS file with index.html. To do that, after the title, inside the head section, type link. Select this one with image. Enter the CSS file name, which is style.css. Now our CSS has been linked with our index.html. Let's start the styling. Open your CSS file. The first thing we're going to do is to create a global CSS style. You do that by using the asterisk. Just code along with me. We set margin of 0, padding of 0, and box sizing of border box. That's for the global style. Let's preview our page. We have cleared all the margins and padding. As it stands now, there are no more empty space in our HTML document. Let's continue with the coding. Second is to target the body. Select your color braces. Very important. We are going to give body a font family. Take a good look at the existing fonts we're having so far. You can see our fonts the way they are. So let's add font family. Font. In the font family, we will use area. I want to use only two. Area. Let me remove this second one. Let's use area and sans serif. Let's see if there's any change. As you can see, all the headings appear in Arial, while the paragraphs appear in sans serif. Let's continue. Next thing is to add a background color. Let me introduce you to coding with color code. So I'm going to use hash F4, F4, F4. We can preview the page. You can see it now. It's now dimmer, no longer plain white. The next is to target our nav bar. This is our nav bar from our HTML. So let's target the nav bar. The nav bar is containing only two elements, two divs, class of logo and class of menu. Give it a display on flex. Each attribute we add, we preview our browser to confirm it. This is the flex for the nav bar. Justify content, let's space between. Now this has space the two items in the nav bar. Align all the items to center. Now both the cosec and the menus are in the center, not center as in the middle, up and down. Another one is going to be background. Let's give a background color. Here our navbar is coming up. Go back. Let's add pattern. I'll use two values, 0 and 20 pixels. This simply means give a padding up and down should be 0, left and right should be 20 pixels. Let's confirm it. So you can see it has spacing the code cell from the left 20 pixels and the menu from the right 20 pixels. That is why the up remains 0. Having done with our nav bar, the next thing should be our logo, which is inside the nav. Back to our CSS. Remember, our logo was created with a class name. So you must start with dot logo. Otherwise, the browser will not recognize it. Logo, you give a space, H1. Every command we give here, we apply to the H1 inside the logo. If you have H1 in other places, it will not affect it. Let's give color first. Yellow. Let's preview it. You can see our logo now appear in the yellow. Let's reduce the font size. Font size, let's give it 26 pixels. The preview. This is good. Use margin of two values. 15 pixels and 0. In this case, the margin up and down will be 15 pixels, while the one for left and right will remain 0. The first value is for up and down, while the second value is left and right. Yes. Back to our code. After the logo section, we have our menu. So let's target our menu. The menu has UL inside it, the honor list. So let's call dot menu UL. Let's display it's also flex. Free from the browser. Now our menu is now displayed flex, becoming more beautiful. Then let's add a gap. For the gap, we'll make it 20 pixels. You can see the gap between all the elements inside it. Let's continue. The next thing we're going to target now will be the LI. We call dot menu, then UL, honor list, and LI. Just see it as the way people answer their name. Menu gave birth to UL, UL gave birth to LI. So menu is the grandfather of LI. The list style is all these dots you're seeing here. That's what we want to remove. And they are attached to the list. So let's remove them. Set it to none. Review. They are all gone. So next we're going to target now will be the anchor tag. Remember, from our HTML structure, menu is housing the UL housing the LI, while LI is housing the A. So let's maintain our good practice by calling the whole of them. Now I will call dot menu. What is it then? Dot menu ul, the father of li, that gave birth to a, before we put our curly braces. This is a very good practice for beginners to understand how what you are calling. The attribute will be given to the last element, which is the a. So let's change the color to white. White should be hash FFF. FFF is white. Let's preview. You can see now our page is coming up. The next thing we're going to do is to remove the underlines. That is called text decoration. We're going to set it to none. Come back to our page and enter, type text decoration. Text decoration, make it none. Let's preview. Yes, they are all gone. So after the text decoration, let's also change the font also, the font size. Let's make it 16 pixels. Preview. It's far better. It's very beautiful. At this point, we are done with our nav bar.